Shalom, everybody. I've got a topic that I want to share, but I'm going to share it with only a select few. And I'm not saying that this is my favorite. Don't, because if somebody doesn't get it, I don't want them to think that they're not part of my study group or whatever. But I'm going to be sending this to some that I feel like can understand it and will receive it, because the topic that I'm fixing to touch on is going to be probably one of the most controversial topics that I've ever put out. And if what I'm fixing to show you gets out to people that have very limited or little understanding, it can literally cause wars. And I'm talking about wars between me and whoever receives it, or whoever forwards it, or whoever agrees with it, or whatever, because what I'm fixing to show you is something that was brought to my attention just a few days ago by some of my close friends that live here on the property. And anyway, it's something that they had discovered. So this isn't my discovery, but this is theirs. But when I found it, or when I read it and studied it, it blew my socks off. And I'm talking what I'm fixing to show you is extremely going to be controversial. Okay. Now, I'm just going to ask that if you're one of the recipients of this video, that you be very careful who you send it to. I'm going to restrict it on YouTube to where only those that I send it to will get it. And that's my intent. That's what I hope. I'm not going to send it to my entire Bible study group, because they will not. They will tear their clothes and I it what and I'm not being. I know this sounds, what I'm telling you. This sounds very dramatic, or however you want to look at this, but it literally is. It will cause hatred among a lot of the people that actually watch my videos. Okay, so let me get right to it. I don't want to draw this video out any longer than I have to, and I think maybe I've got your attention. But so what I want to bring up is Psalm 33. Okay, in Psalm 33, verse 7 or 17, it says, "A horse is a vain hope for salvation. Even its great strength cannot save." Okay, sounds very benign. Okay, and looking at it from a physical standpoint, if you get in a war and you jump on a horse and try to escape, a lot of times escaping on the horse is a vain hope for salvation, and its great strength in a lot of cases cannot save. That's what this is talking about. It's talking about, from a physical standpoint. But now let's look at the spiritual side of it, or at least let's look at the Hebrew side of it. Okay, so it's 33:17. Let's go to the interlinear. 33:17. Okay, now let's look at this. 33. I went to the wrong one. Let's see. Psalm 33. Excuse me. 33:17. Okay. So here's the thing that I've been harping on forever, is if you don't look at the Hebrew side of things, you'll never understand what the meaning actually is. And if you don't look at the Hebrew, if you look only at the Greek or the English, you're going to get a perverted version of what the scripture is actually trying to tell us. Now, what I'm fixing to show you, is it a coincidence, or is it something that Yahuwah put in there for us to see? That's your decision. That's your call. And, those of you that I send this to, I hope you or, use discretion in talking about it to your loved ones, or talking about it or showing other people. I just want you to be real careful with this, because when you see it, you're going to want to tell people, but at the same time, it's going to be very dangerous. And I'm speaking to you I'm trying to warn you, but I want to show you something here. Okay, so if you look at this, this is, it says, a vain horse is a hope for safety, and by its great strength, neither can it deliver. Okay, that's the translation, the literal translation of the Hebrew. Now, it's sekur. Okay, so that's a vain. And then I'm going to skip that one for just a second. And then this, for safety, it's, but anyway, these Hebrew words, they all, they're actually what's written in the Torah scroll. The one I want to focus on is this one right here, a horse. Now, this word is the one that's going to get us in trouble if a lot of this gets out. Okay. Jesus. Are you picking this up yet? It's Hey Samic Va Samic. Jesus. Literally translated, it's the horse. But who is Jesus? Jesus is Jesus. Now, don't get me wrong in this. Yahusha is the Messiah. Jesus is the counterfeit. Yahusha teaches Torah obedience. Jesus teaches not Torah obedience. The law is done away with according to the teachings of the people that follow Jesus. Now, if you read this the way that it's written, a vain Jesus is for safety, or Jesus is a vain safety or salvation. And by his great strength, neither can he deliver. Now, this is, I don't know what to say other than mind-blowing. So it's actually in the Psalm where it tells us that Jesus will not save you, that he is not our safety. He is not our deliverer. And even by his great strength, he can't help you. Jesus. Hey, Samic Va Samic. Jesus. Jesus. Think about it. This, when I saw this, my heart sank, because I've got a lot of friends, a lot of family that put their trust in Jesus, Jesus. But you got to realize that the name Jesus is only a couple of hundred years old. In fact, in the 1611 King James version of the scripture, the original 1611, the name that's in there is Yeshua. Now, it's in the Greek form, and it's iota. Let's see, it's iota, epsilon, sigma, upsilon, sigma. I believe that's right. But it looking at it from the English, it looks like IESUS. But they changed the I to J later on after 1611. But in the original 1611 Bible, King James Bible, it's actually Yeshua, not Jesus. But here the scripture is warning us in the final days that his name will be Jesus, or Jesus. So anyway, I don't know what else to say. I wanted to keep this short. I wanted to bring this message to you. But anyway, be careful what you do with it. That's all I'm asking. Be very careful. Shalom.